Hello, Geneva. I'm Mayor Kevin Burns, and this is another edition of Business Beat. I am joined by the founder, owner, curator, and overall talent of Excel Gymnastics here in Geneva. Rob Brown, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me. This is great. You know, we're in the old Kane County Chronicle building.
Correct.
And it's right off of Randall Road.
Yep.
And this is where America's future gymnastic champions are taught by this guy, who, of course, you are a gymnast by trade, a very talented one.
Yep, I'm a local product and had a great experience. I grew up in Addison, and we had a dynasty going there.
You did.
And have stayed in the area and have been in the Tri-Cities now for, this is our 18th year, believe it or not.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And you've been in Geneva now for?
I think this is our third year.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing. You've converted this building into you're building your own dynasty, really.
I hope so. Yeah, it was basically an empty warehouse building. The newspaper was actually
printed
produced
right here.
The presses were back here, and we cleaned it up and turned it into what we need.
It's fantastic.
Yep.
It's really, now I like to brag about you because you're a gymnastic champion yourself. You've got an illustrious career. Share with our viewers what your background's all about.
I grew up in Addison. Mm-hmm. We happened to have a dynasty there at the time through the high school.
Right.
So I was fortunate to be on 3 team championships.
Wow.
My 4 years there. And then I had another 7 individual state titles.
Is that impressive?
And then went on to University of Minnesota on a scholarship. Big Ten champion, NCAA All-American, and then made the national team for 4 years. And great experience, got to compete and travel the world.
Amazing.
And wouldn't trade for anything.
Now, who was your national team coach?
It depended, during the year. So a lot of time, any of the coaches that had a guy on the national team, they would travel with us. So I went, Minnesota's Fred Roethlisberger, his son John was a 3-time Olympian.
Absolutely.
So very fortunate to be around the right people.
Indeed.
Great coaches, they were my mentors. Great experience.
So the message is, if you want to look good as you age, be a gymnast.
I'll take that as a compliment, yes. Eat right, exercise, and take one-a-day vitamins, yes.
That's amazing. So what's your message to the youngest of the young?
So really what I've tried to do, Kevin, is I wanted to just recreate my experience, not necessarily at the championship competitive level, but I had fun.
Yeah.
The reason I was able to stay in it was fun. So we're trying to create that atmosphere here. You want the kids to learn gymnastics. We want to teach quality instruction, safe, but make it fun. Because as you guys know, everything's getting very competitive.
Oh my God, kids get burnt out at such an early age.
Exactly. So we have 18 months we start them all the way through high school. We have competitive teams, but that's not, we don't push everyone into it. It's there if they want it.
Right.
But if you want to come here and stay for 4 years and just learn a flip-flop and a front flip, that's beautiful.
Well, we have a state champion from Geneva.
Yep, that's right.
Very exciting, isn't it? Yeah.
So that's kind of what we've always been about, and it's working.
Wow. So, and in your opinion, what makes gymnastics a different, perhaps a better, or a unique sport from other sports, other than the individual aspect of it? Right.
Well, just for what it is in terms of using your whole body. So forever, it's always been you start stretching, which now everyone calls yoga. Well, we've been stretching since the beginning of gymnastics, so we've got that component. And then you're using your legs, you're using your arms, you're balancing, speed. So there's strength, speed, all the components that you'll use in other sports. So that's why I have no trouble selling, hey, this will help your child with whatever they pursue. Is gymnastics great? But if they go on, they want to do soccer, you can't tell me that learning a front flip isn't going to make you more agile on the soccer field.
So it's the ultimate cross-training.
Exactly. You learn how to fall. So there's a lot of things going on. And again, you do not get a full body workout in any other sport like gymnastics.
Including the cardiovascular.
Well, not so much.
Though, my God.
Exactly. So if you're doing your full sets, you're getting a good workout. But overall, the strength, the flexibility, the balance, and then as you get into higher skills, you're dealing with fear.
Right.
So there's a lot going on. And then bottom line is, it's fun.
Well, that's the key.
Right.
That's the key.
Right.
And what about the mental aspect? That's got to be incredible. And of course, the mental aspect of all sport has evolved over the years.
Absolutely. So I guess from this particular sport, even at a low level, the girls have to get up on this beam, which is anywhere from 3 to 4 feet up.
And it's only 4 inches wide.
4 inches wide.
4 inches wide, folks.
So even at a beginner level, you're dealing with fear. We're asking you to walk the beam, obviously keep it safe.
Right.
But that's part of it, is learning to deal with that. And then again, if you have an opportunity to perform, that's a whole nother fear. The fear of getting out in front of people and competing.
You're being judged,
exactly.
you're being rated.
And hopefully, one thing that I learned, not being an educator, always coached, but we get a lot of young kids, and this is the first thing they do away from their parents.
Okay.
And if they have a positive experience, it's huge, because they think, oh, gymnastics was fun, so I'll do art class. I'll try soccer.
There you go.
It's a big deal. So we're very proud
so the
of that.
Level is...
Exactly. Even at the young age, the separation anxiety, and again, if they have fun, they get a high five, a sense of accomplishment, that carries in a lot of other things in life.
So the 18-month-old boy or girl is watching the high school student, and with admiration, of course.
Yep, maybe not quite that young, but without a doubt, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So they think, believe me, part of it's containment, because they just want to go. They want to hit the tramp and just,
yeah. Sounds like a city council meeting, actually. It's really the same thing. We need you to come in for there.
Hey, I was thinking about corporate outings, so if you want to have meetings here.
That'd be a great team building.
Absolutely. And then if the bad comment, you could throw foam blocks at them.
I like it.
Or throw them in the pit.
Will you carry me off if I break my leg? Like Bella
Well, we were joking. You guys will have to sign waivers, but yes.
No problem at all. No problem at all. So we're in this. How big is the facility?
The entire building is 20,000 square feet.
Wow.
We've got 6,000 dedicated for All-Star Rebels cheerleading.
Okay.
And then gymnastics has the balance. So roughly 14,000 square feet.
Unbelievable. And if I am a novice gymnast, I train under the educators and the coaches here.
Correct.
And if I'm an accomplished gymnast, can I come and train on my own?
No.
You cannot.
No, there are open gyms.
There are open gyms.
Yes, there are open gyms, and we have staff on the floor.
Okay.
Yes, so yes, we do have open gyms.
So I can come in here to perfect my craft?
Absolutely. And again, even if you're a recreational kid and you want to just come in and do cartwheels, or if you want to bounce on a tramp for an hour.
No kidding.
Knock yourself out. But if you're a high-level kid, you want to come use the pit, you're welcome to do that.
Well, that's cool. And what about music? If I'm here training on my own, can I play music, or is it just focus on what you're doing, Kevin? Don't interrupt the others.
We could try to work with you during an open gym. There's a lot going on.
Sure.
So if you're a high-level kid and you want to practice your floor routine, we could probably accommodate you. So we've got the plug-ins and all the iPad stuff.
Wow. Now you've got, I know, new classes coming up.
Yes, our new session will start January 12th.
Okay, good.
And we do 10-week sessions. So, we do 5 of those throughout the year.
Okay.
So, anyone interested, that's the next sign-up time.
Because I saw the sign on the way and I said, week 6.
Correct,
so
of the 10 weeks.
Week 6 of the 10. So these kids are evolving talent-wise, confidence-wise.
Absolutely, right. So we've got multiple levels. So as a child progresses, they master skills, we invite you up to the next level. And again, if there's interest in competitive stuff, we've got that aspect. But if you're, hey, we do soccer 2 nights a week, and you want to keep your kid coming once a week, we have levels to keep them challenged.
That's exciting.
Yep.
And how do you stay grounded? No pun intended.
You know what? For whatever reason, even though I was a high-level athlete, I obviously capable of coaching high level.
Sure.
But my gift has always been with the recreational kids.
Okay.
I just light up working with them. I get joy out of seeing them learn a handstand or a cartwheel.
Yeah.
And so for me, I always tell my staff, it doesn't matter if you gave me a class of a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, and then an Olympian. Mm-hmm. I would work with every one of them with the same energy level and excitement because it doesn't.
Shows. I mean, you're obviously a very dynamic person.
Well, thank you.
And you have to be.
So, but the point is, that's what we're trying to do here. Is it's not only about the gifted athlete. We're here to challenge every child with whatever gifts they have.
Got it.
Get them to the potential, and again, do it in a positive and fun way.
And that confidence applies to everything else in their lives.
I'd like to think so, because again, it worked for me. I mean, that's why I'm in it.
Right.
I mean, I had such a great experience that I wanted to be in the business.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And your business acumen is coming in quite handy as well, because this has been a huge step in investment for you.
Yes, yeah. So it did give me, there was always a goal.
Sure.
So that's another thing we talk about is setting goals. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be a businessman. So this was an opportunity for me to get into a business and again, basically turn my hobby, my passion into a job.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's good. Again, business is challenging, but hey, I'd rather be in it than standing on the sidelines.
The old adage, if you find something you love to do, you never work a day in your life.
That is correct.
So you're not really working, you're playing and helping.
If you saw me coach, you would
I'm afraid of you. I don't want to.
I'm having a blast.
No
oh my God. Because you demonstrate.
Sure.
So I still get to do gymnastics. So I mean, you can't beat it.
What's the biggest class size?
Our recreational classes, so for example, like a beginner girls class, beginner boys class, that's a 9-to-1 ratio max.
Oh, okay.
Parent taught, probably 1 to 8, preschoolers 1 to 6.
Wow.
The teen groups we try to keep at 10 and less, depends on the level. So again, the ratios are very reasonable. And so there's a lot, that's just partially safety.
Sure.
And then partially, you got to be able to accomplish things. So, but we definitely, we try to keep multiple stations going so the kids are constantly moving.
Yeah, you're not bored.
Exactly, right.
Wow. And do you have adult level classes too?
We do not. Unfortunately, the demand might be there. There's all kinds of liability.
So 50-year-olds like me come in and stretch and I ruin my life. That's what it boils down to.
Well, you'd probably have 5 minutes of fun before you ruin your life, so it might be worth it.
And station number 2 is right across the street from the fire department, so that works out well.
Absolutely. But we hear it all the time. We have parties, and the parents come in, they want to go on the equipment. And we can't allow that. But I used to do gymnastics. I go, that was 35 years ago. Everyone comes in here thinks they're 10 years old again.
Oh, sure.
No, you're 45. It's not working the same.
We're all Mary Lou Rettons and Bart Conner wannabes.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness gracious! So what was your specialty?
Back when I was competing, you had to do all around if you wanted to get the scholarships and be on the national team. But my best event was high bar, so that was my favorite.
No kidding.
Excelled at that, yeah.
And that was without a net.
Without a net, no Cirque du Soleil stuff. It was
kidding.
Yeah,
Cirque du Soleil. That's awesome. Can you show us around?
Absolutely.
The gym? That'd be great.
Yeah, basically, if you guys want to turn this way, this is primarily team stuff back here. We've got our bars and beams back in the corner, vaulting along this wall. Here's the in-ground pit, which again, I think everyone's familiar with.
Sure.
This gives you an opportunity to work on new skills, and as you make a mistake, you fall in this soft, landing area so you don't kill yourself.
Yeah.
And you get back up and try it again.
Good.
Right. And then here, we've got a tumble strip into the pit so you can practice your tumbling skills.
Oh, okay.
So basically, everything's state of the art. We've got this particular pit actually has a trampoline bed that's custom made, that's 4 foot down. So all these blocks sit on a big trampoline.
Oh, neat.
So in addition to the actual foam, the trampoline is giving you extra cush.
Now you said something earlier, and I think this is critical. When I hear of trampolines, you think, oh God, you got to know how to fall on one of those things.
Correct.
So I'm assuming you teach the youngest gymnasts how to fall.
Yeah, actually that's part of our curriculum, even at the little level. So we'll actually do certain, as part of those stations I mentioned, they will be like, how do you jump off?
Okay.
And talk to them about, you don't put your arms out when you fall backwards.
Yeah.
The playground injuries, classic.
Yeah, we all do that.
Fall off the swing set, you put your arm back, that's when you'll break your arm.
Okay.
So we teach them, when you fall, you keep the arms in and you roll. So little things like that are important. And again, and part of what, because in soccer too, I'm hearing about all kinds of injuries.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
Someone gets tackled, they go down. So hopefully, if they picked it up here, that's great, that they learn to keep their arms in and not put their arm out. So, but like for trampolines, it's one at a time. Progressions is the magic word, that you're working, each skill, moving up, not just going from 0 to backflips.
So the young ladies and the young men come in. What is the first apparatus that they want to try right away?
Usually the trampoline is a big attraction.
Because it's fun and it's assumed to be fun.
Absolutely. And then this right here is called a tumble track.
Wow.
And, I'm guessing it's 10, 15 years into the industry now. And it's basically a long, narrow trampoline. So you can take skills that you aren't quite ready to do on the floor.
It'll help.
And you can perform them there. You can start to master them there. You actually run down, round a flip-flop back. And as it gets better, stronger, it makes it easier to bring down on the floor.
And you're there at the end to help them
Absolutely.
turn.
Depending on what they're doing in each spot, absolutely. And then if you swing over here, you'll see we've got this set up for our junior rec classes. So we've got all the little mini equipment for the little people. And again, you can see the circuits, and they're exposed to swings, supports, rolling, balancing. So again, trying to give them a real full spectrum of body movement. And of course, we use the trampolines. This over here is another above ground pit. That again is primarily for the smaller ones. And it's also a big birthday party item. We got a trapeze and a rope out there. So again, we just have a lot of fun with what I've always enjoyed, and that is moving. Just movement.
Just moving.
Just movement.
So the First Ladies campaign of get moving
Yes.
applies very well with what you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely.
Here's just my own curiosity. I've trained on this for a while, and now I've got to graduate to actually do it.
Right.
What is that transition like for the typical athlete?
So again, you'll have, you'll be maybe working it here with a spot on the floor. The coach is helping you. Go up here, perform it on your own, gain a little confidence, and then transition back over here and try it on your own. So again, just the sheer numbers just build confidence, like anything else.
Got it. Now,
so, right.
The viewers can't see this necessarily, but the floor we're on now has considerable spring to it.
Yeah, so this is actually the same kind of floor you'll see on television when you see the...
So this is a performance quality level floor.
Right. You've got 4-inch springs, right, the 2-inch diameter 4-inch springs attached to plywood.
Okay.
And then there's 2 inches of foam on top of the plywood.
Wow.
So it's a very forgiving...
And is this regulation?
This is regulation. 40 by 40 is the white line.
Smaller.
No, but yeah, you're right. On TV it does look big, but no, when you stand here, it's amazing what they get done in this small area.
It is amazing. And when regrettably they fall, it sounds like a thud.
No, it's
but this is pretty forgiving.
So what happens is you're seeing in all sports. So before they tumbled on the gym floor, then they had horsehair mats, then they had the wrestling mats. But what happens is it's softer, but with everything, everyone's just pressing for harder skills. Okay. So this is obviously softer, but now you go higher.
God, you do.
So that's why you'll see some of these high-level skills. So yes, forgiving, but at the same time, now you're higher, you fall harder.
Same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but overall, compared to even, I sound like an old man, but you look back to the old days. So my first 2 years in high school, we did not have spring floors. So we just competed on the foam. On the foam, right, on the mat.
Like the wrestlers did.
Exactly.
Ugh.
So I'm amazed that
You're still walking.
Right. I don't have ankle boots on, and so I've been very fortunate that way too.
Now, do you teach diet as well?
We talk about it, and we'll have certain handouts. That's primarily with the team kids.
Got it.
But again, just because of the touchy nature of it, and people being sensitive about their weight, we leave that for home and all that stuff. But absolutely encourage it, and the kids have access to USA Gymnastics, which has articles in it.
Right.
So absolutely encourage good eating, but we don't, talk about weight and all that stuff.
So if I join Excel Gymnastics, I'm automatically a member of USA Gymnastics?
No.
Okay.
If you are going to compete in USA, then
it's gotta be
there's a membership,
event.
right?
Yep.
But you can join.
Right.
So if you do want to get that magazine, you can join USAG and get one.
Fantastic.
Yep.
So who are without naming names, of course, you've got some budding stars here probably.
Yes.
And can you, as a coach and an experienced champion yourself, do you recognize that right away?
Yeah, from a physical ability standpoint, it's usually very obvious.
Okay.
But as athletes progress, there's a lot of other components that come into it. How do they react to pain tolerance? How do they react to fear?
Okay.
How do they react to competition? So I've been around athletes my whole life. As I progressed, guys that were maybe physically more talented than I was never performed well at competition.
Interesting.
So there's all kinds of dynamics that go into it.
Quintessential stage fright.
Exactly.
Almost.
There's all components. And then unfortunately, like all sports, there's athletes that get injured and they drop. So I was always amazed. I always considered myself kind of a scrapper. Mm-hmm. I never was like this premier talent, but I was always hanging around.
Okay.
And I always hit and I stayed healthy. And I just kind of, so there's guys like me that just kind of grind through it. So, yeah, you can tell from a physical standpoint early on, the kids are just strong.
I mean, you hear that in a lot of sports. Wow, that kid has raw talent.
Exactly. They're the soccer player. Just speed. They're just ripping down the field like, oh my God.
But you as a coach know how to refine that talent.
Exactly.
Because I can be strong, I can be fast, but if I can't perform with the accuracy a gymnast needs.
Right. So, by the way, I'm not hung up on the scholarships and the winning.
Sure.
We want to go for that.
Yeah.
But I want to talk to them about what I gained and what my coaches talked to me about was you got to take these life lessons from sports and bring them with you into your day-to-day life, into your business.
Because ultimately sports goes away.
Exactly.
Something.
So I hope to be part of teaching some life skills.
That's awesome.
Dealing with winning. Yeah. Are you going to become a conceited snob?
Right.
Dealing with losing. Are you going to be a poor sport? all those things.
That's excellent.
So, and that's been lost. I'll be flat honest with you.
Absolutely.
I've got kids. You've had some competitive kids yourself, and the parents get a little goofy, and
Yep.
the nature of having fun, it's been lost. So, I hope that I'm a little grounded, and I'm constantly talking to staff and parents about, hey, let's enjoy this for what it is. This is a great sport. We want your kids to excel to whatever level, gift God's given them.
Sure.
But let's keep it in perspective.
And I don't want to put you on the spot, but you're both coach and counselor to an extent, correct?
I would like, yes. So we're not technically trained, but without a doubt. So when you get to a certain point, and this is true for all the sports.
Yeah. What does Mr. Brown say? What does Mr. Brown think?
Right.
Okay, got
At
it.
some point, gymnastics, soccer, baseball, whatever it is, you're spending more time with those coaches than you are at your parents. Because you're in school all day, they go to the gym.
Yep.
So what kind of people are your kids hanging out with?
Yeah.
And again, I was super fortunate with my high school coach, my club coach, my college coach. They were educators, and they were old school. Did you show up on time? I don't care if you were state champion. Did you show up on time?
Did you do your homework? Did you get everything else done?
Thank you.
Did you do your chores?
Are you a good teammate?
Right.
Are you following the rules?
Right.
Oh, you think you're better? You were gone. So that was my experience, and that's what I took.
Okay.
And by the way, I believe that's why those programs won.
Sure.
Is because of following those basics. It wasn't winning first. It was we won because of hard work, showing up on time, being a good teammate.
Building.
Exactly.
Now, I am curious. Are there as many young men taking a look at gymnastics, or is gymnastics something that young men say, I can do that? Because perception is, well, it's primarily a women's sport.
We we do battle that.
Okay.
Men's gymnastics has always been about, the ratio's literally 1 to 7.
Yeah, but all the men gymnasts are studs.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, my God.
Oh.
It's like,
You, again, from a physical standpoint, you won't find a better athlete.
It's amazing.
So, yes, we do fight with that whole girl image thing, but I think once we get them in here, and a lot of what the parties are for is it's a great time, without a doubt, but it exposes the kids to all this cool stuff.
Exactly.
And then, hey, Mom, I want to go learn a front flip. So now, and again, by nature of what it is, you can hook them. So
can you do the iron cross still?
Do you want to see what a torn pectoral muscle looks like? I'll try one.
Let me go to Foxville Orthopedics and get you taken care of.
Hey, we're all about supporting the community.
Hey, what the heck, man? We can get rid of Delnor, we can get rid of West Valley.
Right.
Wow. But surely your students must say, hey, Mr. Brown, show us what you can do.
Yeah, I can still do a flip-flop and some of the basic stuff. Yeah. But any of the hardcore stuff, unfortunately, it is a youthful sport. Yep.
That's why I'm not signing up, for God's sake. Plus, it costs you thousands.
Right, exactly.
So, what else do you want to share with us?
I'm thankful we touched on a lot of stuff, kind of got into my philosophy.
It's
So,
and
basically.
Critical.
Absolutely. So that's kind of my mission statement has always been, we're going to have fun, we're going to teach quality gymnastics, and we're going to be safe.
Is it fair to say once a gymnast, always a gymnast?
I think so, absolutely. Because it's such a unique thing, and I think most kids, if taught properly, have such a great experience. Right. Even if it's low level. Who doesn't want to learn a cartwheel?
Yeah, no
Who
kidding.
doesn't want?
We all practice it in our front yards.
Exactly. And again, I love the fact that it does transfer into other sports. Okay. And it's just it's a fun thing.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
You've got a website?
Yep, excelgymnastics.com.
Nice and easy?
Yep.
And what's your phone number?
630-208-1920.
And your address?
Is 1000 Randall Road.
1000 Randall Road.
Yep, Geneva.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
What a pleasure.
No, pleasure.
Champion Brown, Rob Brown, ladies and gentlemen, the founder, the owner, the gymnastics champion of Excel Gymnastics. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.